Meeting is now being recorded. I think you may have all gotten the same message that I did. All right. And also thanks for bearing with the change in venue from swap card back to Zoom. So we'll see how this works out for us. Right. Well, we'll kick it off. Again, I'm your chair, Tess Benko, co-chair Jim Zenner. Up to your left, you will see links. So there are the VPN CBO, the peer support list. You can click on that, see all the peer supports. We have the LAVC working group chair contact list, also on the left-hand side, and then the A&E member contact list. So those are members of Access and Engagement. Should you ever want to contact anyone from the group or everyone from the group, no problem. You can use that list. So welcome to the first Access and Engagement Working Group of 2022. I hope everyone had a safe and happy holiday season. And also just wanted to say, stay as safe as possible. Tests are available through the county. So there's a link, I'll make it live. I'll go and pull it and make it live. But there are tests that will be mailed to your home if you request them through the county. So that should help if anyone is seeking COVID tests. We'll move into the agenda. So welcome. LAVC is a group that works with the Los Angeles region, other veterans, and it includes not only providers, veteran service providers, but also veterans themselves. And it's segmented into a few different working groups. You can see a full list of those if you click on the LAVC working group link, and you'll be able to see what the groups are and who the chairs are. So feel free to reach out to those chairs if you're interested in a certain area, or also post in the chat if you're interested in being connected within a certain area that you'd like to get contact with somebody in. Usually what we do is introduce our new participants. If you are new, please be sure to head on over to the contact list and go ahead and put your contact information there so you can stay on the mailing list, stay in the know, share your information. It is a public email list, so please be cognizant of that if you're entering your information. We've never had a problem, but I always like to warn people so that they know what they're doing with their information. At this point, we'll open up for anyone who is just joining us for the first time to introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Jen. I am the Veterans Systems Coordinator for Lhasa as of last Monday. Some of you may know me from my previous employment as Associate Director for SSVF at PATH, and I'm excited to be here.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And I know Jim had discussed also introducing later, so you'll get more of a moment to be able to talk about your work and your new role. All right, anyone else?
Good morning. My name is Sabrina Herrera. I'm a peer support specialist here on the Battleship of Iowa for VPN. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Very exciting. Hope everything's good on the Iowa.
Thank you. Thank you. Just starting. It's my third week, so I'm excited to be here.
Awesome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joseph Galvin. I'm a Veterans Peer Group Network elite team supervisor here with SD4.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Christina Navaja, Navy veteran, Director for Veteran Services at Whittier College. I'm looking forward to helping more vets through the collaborative.
Thanks for joining.
Morning, everybody. My name is Malo Fosangel Jr. I go by Malo, Navy vet. Yeah, I'm new to the LA area. I'm actually originally from Orange County. I'm really well connected over there, but this is my first dab in LA, so I'm looking forward to trying to conquer this beast of a county. I'm the program facilitator at Cerritos College for the Veterans Resource Center.
Awesome. Are there others?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity. This is my first time here. My name is Stacy Gordon. I actually am a military transition coach and a life skills educator who spent 15 years in an elementary and middle school classroom and before transitioning into this space. And I'm sitting in New Jersey physically, but I mentor veterans and spouses in the whole community nationwide and globally. So I'm also here representing an organization called American Corporate Partners, which is a mentoring program, as well as another organization called Vso Industry, which has an incredible free resource library and free networking events. So I will put some of those information in the chat, to share with everybody. So thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. My name is Alex Ortega. I work at Cal State Fullerton Veterans Resource Center. And for this upcoming semester, I'll be the peer support faculty at LMU. So just trying to stay in the mix and stay up to date with everybody. So good to see you all.
Good morning, everyone. Louis Amador. I work with Malo at Cerritos College. I'm the Dean of Student Equity and Success, but a Marine Corps veteran. I've also served as a director for a few veterans resource centers, including the one that Alex is sitting in at Cal State Fullerton. Happy to be here.
Awesome.
Good morning. My name is Audrey Champ. Will you mute your mic? I am a Marine Corps veteran. I'm with SD4 as well on the Battleship Iowa. I'm a peer support specialist. I was here last month, but I didn't really get to introduce myself. So I just want to say hi to everyone. It's really good to meet you. I'm really excited to make connections, and thank you guys for having me.
You're a motivating background. All right, anyone else just joining us for the first time?
Okay, I guess. Alrighty, good morning, everybody. My name is Jennifer Saravia, and I am also with Sabrina and Audrey. We're the battle buddies here with Rich as well, and a few others at the USS Battleship Iowa with Veterans West. So it's a pleasure to be here. My sister is a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army. I have multiple friends and community members that are also veterans. I am engaged to Staff Sergeant in the Marine Corps as well, so I'm definitely passionate about connecting everybody with the resources they deserve and have worked so hard for. So thank you, everybody, for everything you guys have done, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Great. All right. Anyone else?
Hey guys, my name's Yvonne. Previously, I was on this call with SSVF Mental Health America as a program manager, but I've transitioned over to Homes for Families. I'm a veteran service specialist, so hello.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Barry. I'm with COVID Clinic. I'm the Veteran Outreach Coordinator. I'm an Air Force Reservist. I'm also a military spouse. My husband's a Marine, and we are very excited to be a part of this collective and look forward to listening to everyone today.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Cobb. I'm a Navy veteran. I'm the Veteran Outreach Manager for COVID Clinic, and we're excited to be joining this group and helping out in any way we can.
Great. Thanks for joining us. All right. Sounds like we may be through all the introductions. I'll go back to share my screen. So now we'll get into the mission. Our group, our Access and Engagement Working Group, is a collaborative group where veterans and families that are in need, peers, service coordinators, and county officials, not just county officials, but also state and local representatives, government representatives, can access systems and engage with each other. We use communication, collaboration, and service delivery rolled into the new VPAN efforts. VPAN has stood up across the county, is doing an incredible job at supporting the veterans and families community, and also comes with some insights into the services that are provided and the need in the different service districts. So those things we definitely do discuss here in this group. Again, if you need a particular resource, you want to connect with someone, post in the chat, go to the contact list, and feel free to reach out about any question that you might have. Now we'll move into announcements. So Jim, I'll let you take it away.
Great, thanks, Tess, and good morning, everybody. Happy 2022. As far as announcements, we have a LAVC learning community and message board located on the UCLA site. Central location where we're posting all the events, links, any kind of trainings that we develop based on feedback from the community, we post there. Also, would like to hand it over to William Wilson in just a second, who's working with DMH supporting the collaborative to talk about our two main products that we're sending out to the community. I just want to kind of reiterate the mission. The vision of this group is really to meet new faces, welcome them to LA, talk about issues around giving quick and concise, efficient updates, and then really spending a lot of our time talking about where are the gaps in services, what's working, what's not working. And really what William's going to talk about is really kind of our effort to take all the information that's shared in this group, put it into some products that we can disseminate throughout the county and beyond to really push what you guys are seeing on the ground as the major needs for improvement or program development. So with that, William, could you talk about and share kind of what you're working on?
Sure. Thank you, Jim. Good morning, everybody. So we talk about a lot on these meetings, and sometimes some things may drop through the cracks. You may not remember all of it, but there's a lot of salient points that we'd like people to remember. They can go out and leverage those in their jobs and their day-to-day interactions. So we developed a couple of products, a couple of intel briefs, if you will, which are two one-page, easy to access, easy to read products called one for peers and one for influencers. And the one for peers is, I wish I could share my screen, but I can't do that right now. It's basically, it goes through new services that are being offered that everybody might not be aware of, and as well as things that are trending in the community. And then this is a living and breathing document, both of these are. So every month they may change depending on what was discussed. For example, last month, there were a number of obstacles that a certain ST had run into in terms of providing services to people coming in the door. And they had devised these solutions for those obstacles. And so at the bottom of this document, it provided a list, about 4 or 5 of each of these obstacles that many peers may be encountering in their jobs throughout LA, and how they overcame those obstacles. So this is something that's practical and people can use in their day-to-day jobs for VPAM. So that's for the peers. And then for the influencers, this is a way of making them aware of things that are taking place in their environment, in their space, in their district, if you will, that they may not be aware of. And so this might include upcoming events or things that are trending within their community, as well as activities taking place within their supervisorial district. And finally, a list of legislative updates that is a really good summary of new laws that have taken effect, as well as pending legislation. So this is something that we put together following, we just started doing it last month. We put together following each LAVC A&E meeting. And then we compile what we think are the salient points, the intel, if you will, the takeaways for each of these groups. And we put them into one pager for each of them, influencers and peers. And then that is disseminated far and wide for people to see what they need to know, what might help them in their jobs, what might better facilitate their mission from that A&E meeting that month. So this is going to be an ongoing initiative, an ongoing couple of products. And these are living, breathing documents that are open to change and will change every month depending on what was discussed. And so hopefully this is a way to summarize without any extraneous detail that which we think is most important for people to take away depending on what their role is. So again, thank you for the opportunity to introduce these two products. I hope you see them if you haven't seen them already. And if you have any suggestions about how we might make these a little better, a little more comprehensive, or a little more targeted, perhaps, please just let me know. Thank you.
Great, thanks, William. Yeah, and in the meantime, William, if you could drop your contact information in the chat. You know, I know we don't always think of stuff in the moment in meetings, but if you want to get different things that you're experiencing out in the field as you're helping vets and their families navigate systems, feel free to shoot that over to William, and we'll work on getting all that information put onto that scorecard. But really, in a quick synopsis, if I use that word correctly, if I even said it correctly, this is a way of getting your guys' feedback into a product that we can all disseminate to influencers, stuff like that. We really want in LA County to make sure that your guys' work on the ground is influencing how funders and decision makers at higher levels make those decisions. So, and then the last update, if I'm remembering off the agenda, is the announcement that Dr. Keith Harris, he is the director of the homeless program office through VA Central Office, through a lot of advocacy, through different elected offices locally and different oversight and engagement boards here in LA. He was recently announced to take the lead, reporting directly to the chief of staff of the VA, to really come in and help facilitate building out homeless initiatives and getting our homeless vets off the street. So that is, I think he was appointed, he said 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this is a appointee from the VA Central Office to work with us here locally on homeless veteran issues. So big announcement. Back to you, Tess.
All right, great. Thank you so much. We will move directly into the standing reports now. So we usually start with our local government update, and we have with us the LA County Board of Supervisors Special Assistant for Military and Veterans Affairs for Supervisor Catherine Barger, which is Robert Alvarez.
Yeah, and so Robert asked me to make an announcement on his behalf today. So Robert's actually, we're really proud of him. He got promoted at Barger's office, and he's going to keep his current role as overseeing veteran initiatives for Barger's office. But because of his extra duties, he's no longer going to be able to co-chair the policy portion of the A&E. So he did want me to let everybody know that he will be remain very involved in veteran issues at a county level, and if there's any kind of county level stuff, to please reach out to him. All his contact information is going to remain the same.
All right, great. I think then we can move on to the VSO legislative updates. So we have with us Richard Valdez, who's the policy chair.
There we go. I had to unmute myself. There's a lot of activity going on, but most importantly, there were a number of public laws that had passed in latter part of November, and the preponderance of these public laws passed were in effect to do studies to make sure that there's equity in the healthcare, veterans healthcare, also with regards to women veterans, to ensure that all the needs are being met. Initially, when I was reviewing these public laws, I was under the impression that these were acts that were actually going into effect, that were going to do something, but I looked further and talked to a number of people with regards to what the real intent is. And in reality, these are studies to effectively communicate to the Congress what's working and what's not working and where emphasis needs to be placed. So I'll give a further update on that as they as fact. Now, with regards to some other important things that have gone through, legislation with regards to rural veterans' mental health, that is picking up steam. Additional languages in terms of information VA provides to the community is now up to 10 different languages, Spanish, and others that are basically what are in need currently for veterans of all nationalities. Also, there's besides the studies, what VA has added to the burn is Syria and Egypt. Initially aware of was preponderance for burn pits was Afghanistan and Iraq. While there's more to it than that, and they've also included in that list of burn pit where veterans have been exposed, as I said, Syria and Egypt. Also, the first 6 months of this year, in the latter part of the 117th Congress, both the House and Senate Veterans Affairs Committee are going to be extremely, as you're all aware, these are midterm election times. And so both committees are going to be working at breakneck speed to get some very important legislation passed and hopefully on the desk of the president to be signed into law. Two important things of note having to do with exposures. We have Senator Tester's bill, the Cost of War Act, and we have Representative Tucano's bill, which is the PACT Act. These involve all various exposures that veterans over the last 75 years have been exposed to: Agent Orange, burn pits, hazardous waste, nuclear materials. A number of these are included in these. And the part that's most compelling here is the CBO came scoring both these bills towards the end of 2021. The Cost of War Act, Senate bill, that came in at $250 billion over 10 years. And the PACT Act came in at a little over $300 billion over 10 years. And there's a lot of opposition to these because of the cost. And some of the key issues that they raise with regards to this is that the aging veteran population, so we really don't have money to take care of these veterans. And they use as an example, 2001, there were 25.3 million veterans. Today, there's 18.3 million. And so as you can see, over the next 10 to 15 years, that'll be drastically cut. And so the opposition to this is the aging veteran population. Well, we, in terms of the VSO community, don't believe in those sorts of wish lists that just because we're aging, the problem goes away. No, we have a current veteran population that needs to be taken care of. We have an aging veteran population that also requires the care. And so I'll keep you further updated on where those are and where we need to take action. There's a number of other areas that we need to be focusing on. And so it's a comprehensive list. And so I'll be putting together a critical list of legislation that we need to be looking at. Homeless veterans, transitioning veterans, education veterans. In fact, what they're taking another look at is helmets to teachers. That's kind of gone away to some extent in terms of funding, while they're revisiting that, to be able to take advantage of the skills coming out of the service. That it's an important feature. It paid dividends when it was in effect. And so, as I said, they're looking to reinstitute the helmets to teachers program. A lot of material, a lot of action happening. And so I'll provide you with more current information and a strategy in order to get our local legislators on the program. And that's what we need. We need, as a community, to get our elected officials to move these programs and bills along, take care of veterans. That's the short of it. So as I said, I'll further update you on specifics.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it very much. And it's absolutely crucial. We have a lot of input as a body, access and engagement, but also the LAVC at large and us as individual veterans. So thank you again, Richard, for being here and for providing the opportunity and showing us how to make a difference. Last meeting, we had Janet Turner with Representative Ted Lieu's office, Congressman Lieu. I'm not sure if she's joined us today.
Hi, I'm here, but I'm so sorry. Things were so crazy this last month. I know I promised you an update and I apologize. I will have it for next month. I promise, but just got wrapped up in the holiday craziness. So please forgive me, but I'm here if you have any questions. And hey, Richard, call me about all that legislation. Thanks.
I just wanted to come off of the screen share so everyone can see the lovely Janet Turner. If you see her around the community, make sure to say hello. And thanks for being here. Totally understand the end of year crush.
One.
All right. Going back into our share, I'll now turn it over to Jim for a VPAN update.
Great, thanks, Tess. I'll keep it super short. We, as a result of the legal and reentry working group, feedback from them and a need that's been identified in the community, we're moving forward with hiring a forensic psychologist, specifically to work on the veteran alternative sentencing and mental health diversion. There's a lot of veterans who are eligible for a couple of the legal statutes that currently aren't able to really in an organized way get that opportunity to receive treatment versus incarceration. So this individual will be, an offer is actually going out to them today. It'll probably take a couple months to get them on board, but they will be working with VPAN in the community around alternative sentencing and mental health diversion, really kind of liaisoning between the DMH Forensic Division, Office of Diversion and Reentry, which is housed under DHS in the county, with the VA Veteran Justice Outreach Program at the VA, and with everything that's going on with alternatives to incarceration with LA County. So very excited about that, and keep you posted once that individual comes on board and gets their feet underneath them. That's it on my end, Tess.
All right, great. And I know we also have Christina Garcia, who is our VPAN director, with us here today. I just wanted to open the floor. Christina, would you like to give an update?
Hey, Tess. Hey, everyone. You know what? I just wanted to say three things. One, SD4 Iowa, congratulations on a full team. Welcome, everybody. And then ETS sponsors, we still need them. So if you have anybody that's interested in becoming an ETS sponsor, please let them know to contact us. And please continue to stay safe out there. We know that COVID is running rampant, so please continue to stay safe, keep your team safe, and that's all I have. Thanks, Tess.
Absolutely. All right, and for anyone that isn't familiar with ETS sponsors, can you just give a quick update about what that, or refresher for anyone about what that is, Christina?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, thanks, Jim. He put some information on there. But basically it's, just like we came out of the Army, the expiration term of service program, where we actually went to a 1 to 3 day transition program that they threw all sorts of stuff at us and said, here you go, you qualify. Unfortunately, that, doesn't help much. So with this program, it's a year out of active duty soldiers that can access services and a sponsor. So somebody that can actually help them with transitioning to, let's say they're coming to LA County, understanding the services that are here currently, what they can use, what they can go to, who they can access. So they come out more prepared rather than a 1 to 3 day program provided by the active duty. So anybody can be a sponsor. All you need to do is take a course. It's a 1 day course, and it's just basically introducing you into veteran culture, you know, how veterans are, what we, the language we use, very simple. And I know that some of us are already sponsors on call. So if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call, me or Jim, and we'll talk you through it. Thanks, Tess.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move into the VPAN rally point updates. For anyone who is not familiar, rally points are VPAN places where peers are accessible, and they're also information centers. So around the county, we have one in each supervisorial district. So I'll go ahead and to run down the list for a short update. So SD1, which is JVS.
All right, so good morning, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and send my numbers through the text message as well. But so our top 3 services, benefits and navigation, 94, income support, 91, housing and shelter, 57, and total clients served this month was 240. And I just want to say thank you to my team for last month. I know it being a holiday, you know, the big holiday month, we were able to get out there and do 7 outreach events, and 2 of those were with SCG. One of them was partnered with our SD5. So thank you. Appreciate all the hard work from SD1 and everyone else also that's in support. Thank you.
Awesome, incredible, and congratulations. Your numbers have gone up across the board. SD2, Volunteers of America, Los Angeles.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Randall Cunningham. I'm a squad leader with Volunteers of America, SD2. Great to be here with everybody. So we'll go ahead and give some of our numbers here. We had 129 cases come across our workload. 92 male, 15 female, 9 family members. We also, let's see here. You know, scratch that, sorry, we had 184 cases come across our caseload. We are also expanding into our new supervisorial district territories. So we've been going into El Segundo, Redondo Beach, and other areas, making connections there. So real excited about our potential CAP and potential outreach efforts. We are connecting with the homeless outreach coordinators at the police stations, which is really exciting stuff. Yeah, you know, really excited about my team. We have a new team member coming on this week, and we're really excited to have him. And with that, I'll go ahead and pass.
Great, thank you so much. SD3, Goodwill SoCal.
Okay, I'll let my coordinator provide the numbers. Go for it, Colin. Colin Kwan. Can you come back to me? I'll get the numbers right now. Let me get the numbers.
Okay, great. All right, we will come back to SD3. So let's go with SD4, the Battleship, Iowa.
Good morning, everyone. Jesse Mendoza here, Program Coordinator for SD4. First and foremost, I want to thank our team as well. With the holidays and being understaffed, we were still able to serve the 67 total under housing and shelter. For income support, we were able to service 37 veterans, and for benefits, 31 veterans. As far as employment and individual family services, we're able to service 26 veterans each in each category. So again, I want to thank our team, and we're looking forward to 2022.
Great, thank you so much. All right, we'll go back to ST3. No, okay, ST5, JVS.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jimmy Guevara. I'm the program manager here for SD5. So with this, I just kind of already put up some of the numbers on the chat. But top 3 services that we have out here for SD5 are going to go from benefits and navigation is always going to be our key, pretty much our top one. Then second after that is going to be housing and shelter. Again, we cover a lot of ground. And then on top of that, after that is employment. December was pretty much a little bit of a short week, so everybody kind of just hustled into settled in a little bit. Now, as far as our Unitas report, we have about 175 open cases, 634 closed ones. On top of that, the month of December, we had 23 new clients, and also just kind of a little update across what we're doing at SD5 is more like also the toy drive. We handed out toys over 125 veteran children. Thanksgiving meals, where we delivered over 60 meals to veterans, families in need. Of course, we always want to big shout out to all the community members that supported us in this, which was Crazy Autos for putting the meals together. You know, Amy Bravo, you're always a big supporter. Never forget about you, definitely. And then same thing with 10 Hut for the generous donation to make this happen. On top of that, of course, we're also now navigating with the new district lines. We are making new caps across all of SD5. So with that being said, we just kind of put it out there a little bit. We are going to be collaborating with Post 43 soon, so I'm actually excited about that myself. I see you, Tess. I know you're smiling. I see you. With that being said, we're moving things around a little bit more. And with that, we're also going to be moving into Glendale, Burbank areas as well. So if anything other than that, that's pretty much my report for this morning. If any questions, comments, concerns, or emotional outbursts are always welcome. Back to you, Tess.
All right, thank you so much. And yes, I definitely Legion hard. So congratulations on that. So
Okay.
ST3?
Yeah, we're ready now. We're ready now. Go ahead, Kyle.
Sorry about that. Oh, wait. Time out. I almost forgot one more thing. Last thing, I apologize, and I definitely apologize. Also, like I said, we did collaborate with SD5 with PCC, and I know Carol, I see you. Definitely the special love for her. Anything I couldn't do without Miss Carol right there. That woman is a superstar out here, so I just got to put that out there.
So, thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Colin here, UPenn SA3 Services Coordinator. We served 144 clients last month, and we added 40 clients to unite us. And our top 3 service types are individual support, benefits navigation, and housing and shelter.
Benefits, okay. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much to all of the teams. Congratulations on all of your successes. Stay safe out there. I know you're interfacing with the public, so try to stay as safe as possible. All right, one more standing report that we have is homelessness and housing. So is there a rep from homelessness and housing here?
Morning, Tess. Steve here.
Hey, Steve.
So at today's Homeless and Housing Working Group meeting, we will be welcoming Jen, our new co-chair, the Lhasa Veteran Homeless Coordinator. We always review SSVF operations to see what improvements we can be part of recommending to the VA and the coordinating group. Today, we'll also look at a couple things from Lhasa. They did a year in review that included specific data on rehoused veterans in 2021. So we'll look at that. Lhasa is also urging us all to volunteer for the annual point-in-time count. We didn't do one last year because of the pandemic, but Lhasa is doing one this year. The point-in-time count is important because it determines how Lhasa allocates its resources throughout its jurisdiction, throughout LA County. It's also important because the federal government requires it if you'd like to continue receiving funding for your homelessness programs. So we will be encouraging everyone to volunteer for the point-in-time count. residents of Long Beach, Pasadena, and Glendale can volunteer for counts that are specific in those jurisdictions. Lhasa takes care of the count everywhere else. We will take a look at a bill in Sacramento right now, AB 328, that seeks to improve the process at parole that so often leads from prison to homelessness. So alternatives would be to better support as people are released from prison so they don't become homeless. And AB 328 seeks to do that. In Washington, we'll be looking at the Build Back Better Act. You heard earlier about HR 5025, which would provide a little more money for job training programs administered by the VA for homeless veterans. The Build Back Better Act has a lot of stuff that's more specific to homelessness itself and solving that, including a massive increase to the VASH voucher program and the other VA homeless programs. So large that we actually could be resolving veteran homelessness finally. But that's in the Build Back Better Act. That's the one that Senator Manchin from my home state of West Virginia has held up. Not clear that it's going to move forward, but our advocate organizations in Washington, D.C. are urging us to continue advocacy so that something might be salvaged there. And finally, we'll go over some recent news reports about the VA Greater Los Angeles, the commitments the Secretary made late last year to rehouse homeless veterans, arguments over how to count that in determining whether he succeeded or not, and the release on Dr. Keith Harris that you already heard about, who will be coming from Washington and brings a lot of clout to the issue of solving homelessness among veterans in LA. So you're all welcome to the Homeless and Housing Working Group if that teaser interested you at all.
All right, thank you again. And Jen, would you like to take a minute and offer a few words? You still with us?
I am here.
Great.
I am absolutely here. Those of you who know me will remember that oddly enough, I become very shy when the spotlight is turned on me so suddenly. But I am excited to be here. As Steve mentioned, a lot of my work in the last 8 days, has been around Dr. Keith Harris's appointment to the VA and the VA Secretary's goal and commitment to house X amount of veterans in certain timelines. So to that, we're working with the VA to automate the by name list. If you're not familiar with the by name list, it's essentially this huge spreadsheet that accounts for every veteran experiencing homelessness, which has been engaged by any one of the organizations in the county. And the difficulty with that is that the by name list is a separate document to the VA records. And so we're working to automate these and collaborate these systems. So that we're not doing duplicate work and that we're getting more up-to-date information in real time. And another big project, again, as Steve mentioned, is the expansion to the VASH program and what that's going to look like for veterans who have not typically been eligible for those vouchers and how we're going to engage those veterans and get them connected to the VA systems.
Absolutely incredible. And the VASH program, so is this a further increase, or is this because there was a bill that was passed in 2020 to increase VASH to other than honorable veterans? Yes. Is this expanded past that?
This is exactly that. So I actually wanted to seek clarification, and I was lucky enough to get some one-on-one time very briefly with Dr. Harris on Monday. And I asked, is this an expansion in the sense that we're getting more vouchers, or is this an expansion in the policies, which now allows veterans with an OTH to apply for vouchers that are already existing? And he clarified that this is, there is an increase in vouchers in LA County as a whole, but this is not creating a separate pool of vouchers, if you may, for veterans with an OTH. Essentially, they're now going to be able to register with the VA for this very limited service, which is going to include the clinical case management coming through the VASH program.
Interesting.
Tess, this is regulating that law that passed a couple of years ago. It takes the feds a while to write the specific regs when laws are passed.
Oh yeah, implementation is always a part of the fun.
And
So,
and Tess, really quick, kind of just to clarify, because I think a lot of us, we speak, I just want to clarify the language, because we're saying OTH, but it's actually even beyond OTH.
Yes.
So I know we throw that language around and we kind of know what it is, but just sometimes it gets confusing when we're speaking to other folks and to veterans. It is also expanded to veterans that do not, that have honorable or general and don't have the 24 months. Also to some veterans that have bad conduct. So it's broadened pretty wide to account for a lot of our veterans that weren't previously eligible. And I think the big thing that I was working on before, and now Jen will be working on, probably with myself and the other CES folks at the VA, is making sure that those veterans that are in HUD-VASH expansion that aren't VA healthcare eligible have the other wraparound services that are needed, like mental health, physical health, all those types of things. So we've been partnering with our VPAN partners and other organizations to support that.
really, really good news. So thank you, and great to see you, Melanie. All right, Amanda with Public Counsel sometimes jumps on. Do we have Amanda with us today?
Yeah, hi everyone. Nice to see you all. Happy New Year. I don't really have any new updates. You know, a legal world. You know, we're still really sending people to stayhousedla.com for anybody who's having any housing issues, whether that's like, my landlord may evict me, you know, are these moratoriums still in place? You know, what requirements do I need to meet to be able to get protections and whatnot? So again, that's stayhousedla.org. And so that's just kind of what's going on there. And yeah, nothing too new there. But if you do have any questions, I'll put my email in the chat and feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Amanda. All right, and typically we have a report from Unite Us, so Anil, but he's excused this meeting. He can't be with us, so we'll move into the sound off. And Jim, you can go ahead and take over and lead through the process.
Great, thanks, Tess. Yeah, this is the part where we really want to hear from you all, whether you're coordinating or you're providing the direct service on what's working, what's not working, or any kind of gaps or trends that you're seeing that we can incorporate, that we should incorporate in the intel reports, both the peer support and the influencers. So is there anything out there that fits that category that you want to share and you want to see on these announcements that need to be addressed?
I have something, and you saw kind of the early emails of this. This is still in the early stages. But I think one of the kind of missing bit of resources or kind of gaps is for some of our veterans that are over income, but yet still have high barriers. And so they don't qualify for VASH, they don't qualify for SSVF, they don't qualify for any county programs because they're over income, but yet they're not going to find housing on their own. And so we've started having conversations, at the Long Beach VA, along with the folks at Battleship with Chris and Remy, to kind of see how can we support those folks. And Lisa was also involved. So we had some initial ideas. We're kind of just right now trying to figure out who some of those veterans might be, to try some piloting, maybe with VPAN support and just exploring different types of resources. But that's definitely a gap.
Awesome. Thanks, Melanie. Great example.
Yeah, that was great, Melanie. I actually have a veteran for you if you want to talk about that. He's in the process right now of getting his TB test read this morning. So I think the Western Apartments is one of the apartment complexes that has a higher AMI, 50% to 60%. So his HUD-VASH voucher application is in the mix. But keep in mind that when he came into this, well, when he was, you know, let me word this correctly. The holidays were around when this whole process started. So there's a lot to it, and I won't go into that detail because I don't want to lose track. But yeah, that is one of the highlights of what I see as well, are veterans who are over the income. And, you know, what do we do to help them find housing? So that's one case that I am working on right now. And I think that's it. Yeah.
I think that's a very pertinent, question, and we're also seeing that with the planning of the West LA VA housing. You may know it's going to be the largest community of veterans in the country, homeless veterans, and so we are also interested in addressing that question as well. So any information on solutions that you're finding, please feel free to share. All right. Do we have others? Others, what's working?
Do we have Lisa Rodriguez on the call from DMH?
Morning. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Lisa. Remember our conversation the other day about influx in veterans that are losing their housing, related to like domestic violence situations, things like that, that had to do with the pandemic as well. Would you mind speaking a little bit about that to the group?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Lisa. I am one of the I am the DMH VPAN coordinator for our housing program. And so one of the things that I have noticed, in addition to the folks that are homeless and are over income for some of the programs, is that we are getting an influx of referrals for folks that need to relocate. They are housed, but they're just needing to relocate, either to find something that's more reasonable, or they're stuck in a situation where they have to relocate. And so just really, how do we help these individuals get look for new housing, and what tools are out there to assist with the housing search so that we can help them relocate in a timely manner. And we know that relocation can take some time and can be, can cost money. So, and that's one of the things that I have noticed. And it can be a variety of reasons why someone wants to relocate. It can be closer to work. It can be DV situation in the household. And so there's various reasons. So that is one thing that I've noticed. And I'm currently trying to figure out how can we use Path Lease Up to be able to use that as one of the resources. But if there's anything else out there to help with housing navigation, please share that with the group, share that with me. We would like to know as well.
Great, thanks, Lisa. So there's no other barriers or gaps. LA's pretty good otherwise. No other issues that you run into linking your veterans and family members to services. I mean, I just working as a peer support for many years. That's got to be one of the most frustrating things is the barriers. Having somebody come to you for help and not be able to help them because the resources don't exist, or the existing resources are not providing what they need to. So this is really, I want to encourage everybody, please use this group as a problem-solving think tank and an extension of your advocacy.
I have one.
Jim, I have a question.
I'm sorry. You go, Adam.
Okay. I have a question. Maybe because what we have been having problems with is just making that solid linkage with our SSDS and our appropriate spas. So I don't know, just maybe a good contact. When's the last time that if someone could give us an updated roster with SSDF contacts? That's what we've been struggling with here on my team. Just those SSDF referrals and making sure once they get there that linkage is made. So that's a lot of what my team struggles with right now. And again, I keep beating this drum is, I'm not sure where we're at with or if it's being talked about with the reserve component, the guard component, them being able to take on some of those, or eligible for some of those services like SSDF. So I don't know if anybody can speak to that. I know the workaround, get them service connected, and then we can, that's the workaround. But I'm seeing if there's anything else that anybody can assist with. But that's all I have right there. But really, contact numbers for SSDF is good. Yes.
Sorry, Adam. This is Jen. I can get the list out to you. I'll look for your email, or if there's like a central email that I could send it to distribute to everybody here, I can get that list by the end of
Okay,
today.
perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen and Adam, it's Robert from Path. I can share I do have the SSVF contact sheet. I can share it in the chat.
Oh, that'd be amazing, Robert. Thank you.
That's Robert. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sending it now, so you should see it here on the chat. It contains all the SSVF providers and LA County with their contact information.
And it's been updated in the last 2 weeks, right, Robert?
Give me one quick second.
Sorry. Something that came to mind as, and please correct me if I'm mispronouncing your name, is it Liza or Lisa?
Hi, Jen, it's Lisa.
Lisa.
Thanks.
So, but as Lisa and Adam spoke, I couldn't help but think back. I don't know if everybody here is aware of SSVF programs. Very recently, September, October, got funding specifically for shallow subsidy rollout, which is, it's exactly kind of what it sounds like. It's a very limited assistance to keep veterans who are, as Lisa mentioned, maybe their housing is not sustainable because of rent increases. They do have to qualify for SSVF. And so unfortunately, to Adam's concern about reservists and National Guard, unless there's some active duty in there or that workaround that you mentioned. But if they do qualify for SSVF, they can get some assistance if the unit is not sustainable long-term, if they've fallen into rental arrears. And that assistance would be 50% of the rent for 24 months.
Yeah. Appreciate that information.
And the other piece of that, Adam, is that can be identified as a policy issue that we can look into with the policy work group. So just to kind of help conceptualize what we're trying to do here in the group, this is perfect. Thank you. Amanda, you had something, and then I think last point, and then we got a break for the main group.
I don't know if anyone else is coming across this, but LA City, LA County are back in full force and giving out parking tickets and lots of quality of life citations. So we didn't really see any of those during the pandemic, and they're steadily strolling in. And so I've had problems getting in contact with the city or county of LA's programs to dismiss those tickets for homeless people. And so I just didn't know if anyone else had any experience in with whether they know those programs are going or whether that's still a gap and something we need to look into, how we can get people enrolled in those ticket type clinic dismissals or anything like that. No, I figured.
You know who might be good contact for that would be, I'm sorry, I'm just getting over COVID. My brain's not working correctly. Would be CVJP, because usually they kind of have their finger on the pulse of the different clinics and things and can arrange one maybe if we need it.
Perfect, thanks.
Yep, and we'll get that listed on the Intel brief too. So we'll kick it out and see if anybody will respond.
Jim?
Can I ask a quick question? Rhonda Smoot, I'm in San Diego. I'm with the DHA Care Recovery Coordination Program. I had a call from a daughter of a veteran who's in Hawaii. And I'm just wondering if any of you have any contacts with anybody in Hawaii to help them with getting his benefits and that type of thing through the VA. They're experiencing some problems. So if you have any, you can email it to me, or you could, or whatever, or put it in the chat real quick. It's just a long shot, but I'm trying to help them out. This is in Honolulu, so.
I'll email you offline, Rhonda, because US Vets has a site in Hawaii.
Okay.
So.
All right, thank you.
Of course. All right. Looks like we've come to the end of our programming. It's 10:02. The main body meeting will be starting, so you all should have the link for that. Please add your upcoming events to the learning community, and thank you everybody for being with us today.
Thank you, everyone. I know we ran a little over, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and break for about 5 minutes so you can use the restroom, refill your coffees, get some water, and then we'll be starting the main meeting soon. It is the same link. So again, just feel free to mute yourselves, turn off your cameras if you need a little privacy, and we'll get started shortly. Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. You should be welcoming everyone back. Happy New Year. Welcome to the first collaborative of the year 2022. Very excited to be here. We have a lot of things going on, a lot of things that took place at the end of last year, and we're really excited to move forward. With that, I do want to acknowledge the level of difficulty that we had when we transitioned to swap card for some of our members. So we've decided to return to Zoom, and this is our first meeting utilizing this platform in this way. So of course, as a community, we're here for you. So any feedback that you have, feel free to send me an email, write anything down in the chats. I'll look at that and again, continue talking to the leadership team on how we can make this experience the best for everyone. We are going to start the main meeting, and then the breakout rooms are this exact same link. So at 10:50, I will open up the breakout rooms and you can go into the respective working group that you wish to attend. So again, I just want to acknowledge some of the difficulty that we had with swap card, and I just appreciate everyone's flexibility and willingness to try new things so we can better our experiences. Also at that, I know there have been a huge increase in COVID cases throughout Los Angeles County, and I just want to make sure everyone is staying safe, being careful, getting their vaccines, wearing their masks, and just overall taking care of yourselves and your loved ones. So I know a lot of people on this call are probably feeling a little under the weather, and thank you so much for still taking the time to be here. It does mean a lot for you to want to continue in this passionate role of helping veterans and military families. So I do want to acknowledge that. And on the same topic, as you can see with the numbers increasing, we do not have a tentative plan as of yet of when we will return to in-person. So as of right now, we are looking at just continuing virtually until things take a more dramatic shift away from the danger of COVID. So also, very exciting things for this upcoming year 2022. We had a lot of positive feedback for the wellness days that took place with our VPAN teams and other organizations that were providing that support. So we're looking to continue hosting those on a quarterly basis to make sure that we are making contact with our military families in LA County. So just be on the lookout in the newsletters for when those are coming up. There is a tentative date for February for our SD4 team. And again, more information to follow. So we're really excited to be on board with that. We have most of these organizations already on our listservs to receive the email if you wanted to participate as a vendor or a resource. So again, if you wanted to be added to that list, just send me an email saying, you're interested in just learning more about the wellness days and when you can participate. So on that, I have Anil, our PhD intern, coming back, and he is going to be giving us a quick update on our end of year report for 2021 for our Unitas Insights.
Hello, everyone. I just want to echo what Amy was saying in terms of COVID and taking care of everyone. I think it's fantastic, all the work that we have done as a huge team in Los Angeles, and the numbers show it. I'm excited to look at the numbers every month. I know I've started to do some monthly meetings with some of the groups. So I'm excited to start doing those monthly meetings so that everybody can look at their numbers and see some of the gaps that they can be looking at. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and show some numbers. All right. So can everybody see the end of the year report, that first page? Just some nodding heads. Perfect. All right. So year to date, from January to December, As you all can see, the numbers did increase month to month. There was a slump in September, but then we continued to grow all the way through December. December was our largest month. You think during the holidays, whether it's difficult times or something coming up or holidays, people not wanting to reach out, we were still just as busy, if not busier. Number of service requests, it was a total of 5,833 total service requests. So when we think about that and those numbers, and we just do one divided by day, that's about 16 services per day that we're providing for different veterans. Looking at that, we also look at the total referrals, and we see those numbers continuing to increase up to 429 referrals for the last month. One thing that I encourage everyone to do is be using the Unitas platform. It takes some time to get used to it, and once you get into it, it's going to be a huge, powerful tool for all of us to really refer, look at those services, and support the bigger team, and support our veterans and their families. We look at branch. We're still serving mostly Army, which makes sense based off of numbers. Gender, 78% male, 19% female, 3% undisclosed, non-binary. This number has changed over the months. We continue to see this rate of females growing. So that's exciting that we are serving more and more female veterans. And then again, the age range. I know this is something that we've talked about from the very beginning, that 56 to 65 is our largest population that we are serving. And then the 36 to 45 and 26 to 35. So when we're looking at different services, we can look at each of the SDs or your own area and see where those gaps are. Maybe it's a specific age, or maybe it's gender where we are dropping the ball or something's coming up. Then I want to look at the top 10 for referrals. DMH sent 45%. At the beginning of the year, this was upwards of 60% of the referrals. So I'm glad to see not that it's going down, but other individual teams are stepping up. Other groups are stepping up and sending more and more referrals. So that's really great to hear. Then at the other side, we see the top 10 senders of referrals for December. VPAN SD2, 35% of the total referrals for the month came from VPAN SD2. So shout out to SD2 for the hard work they did. Not to say everyone's not doing hard work, but it's great to see that top change over and over again, to see the different groups, what's coming up. Top 5 needs for the year. I think this is always important. Housing and shelter was the #1. Then benefits navigation, then employment, income support, and individual and family. You could see the breakdowns of what that looks like, what that means. And then for December, it was actually benefits navigation, then housing and shelter. So those two switched. Income support was really huge, which was also which switched from here. Employment went down, individual and family support. So one thing that I like to show at the very bottom, of those who sought housing and shelter support, about 1 in 5 also need benefits navigation. So are we making sure when we are giving these resources or connecting with these vets, we're also checking in about these other areas? Of those who sought support with benefits navigation, at least 1 in 5 also need individual and family support. So yes, we're supporting the vet. Are we checking in about the family support? What else is going on for the individual? And then for December, of those who sought support for benefits navigation, 1 in 3 had a co-occurring need for individual and family support. So that number went a lot higher for the month of December. So just something for us to really pay attention to as we go through this. If there's any questions, that's the last page I have for us. I would love to, and then we can go from there. Thank you all for joining.
All right, any quick questions for Neil before he has to log off?
I have a question. Can you estimate what you believe the trends will be based on the information? It looked like the #1 need was housing and shelter in 2021, and it's kind of at least switched over to benefits. Do you see that trend continuing? Can you estimate, or is it too soon to say?
Yeah, so I think my work over the next couple of weeks is going to be really looking at month to month. how have these trends changed? What is changing? So Anthony, I look forward to being able to present that in our next meeting. I appreciate you asking that question, and I'll definitely do it by the different needs in our next report of how they have changed over the year, and then seeing if we can predict anything in terms of what's growing and what's kind of slowing down. Janet, I see you have raised your hand. Absolutely, ask question.
So I'm curious, of the 1 in 5 looking for housing that need benefit navigation, are these veterans that you're seeing on the street? Have they never been into a VA? So that's my first question. And just to let people know, if they are veterans you're seeing on the street and your particular group does not have the ability to navigate, you can always send them to their congressional office. And just to let you know, if they're homeless, they can go to any congressional office. That's one of the main things congressional offices does, is casework to help connect people to their benefits.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that, Janet. So I don't look at any specific location. This is all the individuals that are here in this meeting that are signed up on Unite Us. That's where we're collecting this data. So it's not necessarily veterans that are on the streets. This is every veteran that has come through the organizations that are here today. And we can definitely try to piece that out, but I think it's definitely more, an individual meeting that we can set up. Anybody else? Then I will pass it back to Amy.
Thank you so much, Anil. Appreciate it. I'm sorry, Tony, did you have a question really quick?
Yeah, yes, I did. Good morning, everyone. My question is, did you detect any information, especially in the month of December, on services related to veterans receiving any type of help from the VA in the terms of masks? I see you have your mask on. That's the type of mask that has been recommended now, not the cloth or even surgical mask, because there's an Omicron variant, and also on home tests. So do you know of any instances where veterans are receiving assistance from the VA or anyone else on these home tests, the rapid tests, and also the proper masks that are being advised right now?
Thank you, Tony, for that question. One thing I will say is I haven't looked at specific locations. So if we want to look at the VA, we could look at what specifics they are providing. Again, that would be an individual meeting that I could absolutely provide and support. I don't see anything regarding COVID specifically. I think it would be shuffled under whether it's benefits navigation or something else. I think it's being categorized under something else, not specifically COVID. So that's something that, maybe we can take back to our partners at Unitas and say, hey, that's something that we do want to make sure we are tracking in terms of COVID and masks and at-home tests, or making sure that we're keeping our vets safe.
Thank you all so much. So moving forward, we have another group who's going to be introducing themselves. They are students, master students from UCLA, who are actually working with the collaborative on a project for the next several months. So I just wanted to allow them an opportunity to introduce themselves and let you all know what information they're looking for. That way, if they reach out to anyone from the collaborative, you will be receptive and receiving their emails to help them out, because it's ultimately here to benefit us. So with that, I'd like to introduce Ashley Johnson, Nashin Nawar, Ivan, and Tristan Hagan. You guys can go ahead and unmute yourselves and introduce yourselves to our group.
Thank you so much, Amy. Appreciate the warm introduction. Hello, everyone, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here and share this space with you today. It's an honor to be a part of this. We are students from the Master of Social Science program at UCLA, and the MASS program, as it's called, is focused on a community-based research model. So part of what we are working on now is actually a two-part course. It will last over 2 academic quarters at UCLA, where we partner with an organization in the community, and we kind of sort of like function as a type of research consultant. So our job is to help identify an area in which maybe we can help make some positive recommendations, or identify something that may help the organization ultimately achieve its goal to an even greater degree. So that is what we are aiming to do here. And just a little bit about myself. My background is primarily in communication studies. So I look a lot at different things like social networking. So one of my projects actually in undergrad was looking at the way my then partner's unit in the Army, the flow of their communication, and sort of how that worked. And I created a chart and wrote a paper on it. And it was a very eye-opening experience. So I definitely have a very large spot in my heart for veterans and for this community. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with all of you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Johnston, and as Tristan said, I am also a student in the Master of Social Science program at UCLA. My background is in sociology and anthropology, and I do have experience on a few research studies in the psychology department and School of Medicine at Stanford. And I was also a dental hygienist in private practice for about 8 years. I don't have any direct experience with Veterans Affairs, but I am looking forward to learning about it and applying our skill set to the collaborative project. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Ivan. You can call me Ivan also. I'm sorry that I couldn't open my camera today because I had a fever yesterday due to I had my booster on Monday. I'm so sorry. And in terms of research experience, I did English literature in my undergrad, so I don't have many research experience, but I do have many experience working with nonprofit organizations, especially the education organizations. And I'm so happy that we have the opportunity to work with VA in the coming 6 months. And I'm really looking forward to our further collaboration in the future.
And hi guys, last but not the least, I'm Noshin. I'm from the same team, and I have prior research experience in the field of education, but I really look forward to work with the Veterans Collaborative in this project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all so much. Again, the whole purpose for them introducing themselves today is so you know exactly who it is that's reaching out to you in your emails, because they are trying to gather information. Then again, it's going to benefit us as a community. So very excited to have them on board. This is the first year that we're working with this program at UCLA, and hoping that we can continue this collaborative effort as well. Because right, who doesn't want more data to make sure that we're doing what we need to do and how we can benefit our community. So thank you all so much for being here. Really greatly appreciate you taking the time to join us and introduce yourselves. And again, thank you so much for our collaborative members to just allow them to be here and speak on behalf of what work they're going to be doing with us. And then moving on, we have Tess Banco who's going to be giving us some updates. Tess, are you here? Seem to have lost Tess. Give me 1 second and let me send her a message. All right, well, we're waiting for Tess to log on. Is there any announcements that people want to make? I know we're going to have our salute report coming out a little later, but in case there's something that we missed, if there's any flyers you want to add in the chat, any collaborative efforts you want to begin right now, please feel free while we wait for Tess to rejoin us.
Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Delat. I am the Workforce Development Coordinator at US Vets. Good morning, good morning. Just want to make you all aware, I am the co-chair of the Career Development group, and I look forward to seeing a few of you pop in today. For those of you that will not be in the Career Advancement group, I do want to let you know we have a couple of upcoming events. We will be hosting a traditional resume writing workshop from 10 to 11 a.m. alongside of the Wounded Warrior Project, Linda Larson, on February 1st. That is a Tuesday. Following that, on Thursday the 3rd, our peer support program is collaborating with the Career Development Initiative at US Vets to put on a virtual peer support and social service career fair, and that will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Thursday the 3rd. And then after that, on the 8th, we will have a federal resume writing workshop, again from 10 to 11 on Tuesday the 8th. So we've got a lot of events coming up throughout the first and second quarter. If you stop by the group or if you drop your contact information in the chat, I can always email out those flyers to you and keep you all aware. Additionally, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I do post a lot of great stuff on LinkedIn as well. And I look forward to collaborating with some of you throughout this year. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. My apologies for being a little late logging back in. All right, I'm going to share my screen and I will be sharing an update on the West Los Angeles VA redevelopment project. So bear with me for just a second. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Tess Banco. I'm the project director for the West Los Angeles VA campus redevelopment. Our motto is transforming a campus into a community. As many of you may know, the West Los Angeles VA campus has a long history and a very storied history of all of the changes that have happened. And in 2018, there was a federal lawsuit that required the federal government to work with the VA or have the VA redevelop the land. The VA hired a principal developer team, which is made out of 3 different representatives. One is Century Housing Corporation, one is US Vets. I'm sorry, let me go back. And the other is Thomas Safran and Associates. So these are the 3 principal developers for which I am an employee. And we are working to redevelop the campus in terms of housing development, in terms of services, both for those living in the housing and those not living in the housing. So the regional area will become a services hub. Developing the community. So there's an aspect of this community where there will be a backbone organization that's responsible for all of the administration, all of the events and everything that happens on the North Campus of the VA, which is over 70 acres above Wilshire Boulevard in West Los Angeles. I've included here the mission statement of the Veterans Collective. So very, very deeply committed to the successful transition of military veterans and their families, homeless military veterans and their families, through the provision of service-enriched housing that promotes recovery, wellness, and a more hopeful future. In 2021, we had several milestones and key highlights. There's been a lot of progress as we've moved forward. I presented previously on the project itself, so the different components of the project, and we'll return again to speak a little bit more after the Master Plan 2022 is approved by the Secretary of the VA. So the Master Plan 2022 is the update to the original draft Master Plan that guides the redevelopment of the West Los Angeles VA campus. The Master Plan 2022 covers both the South Campus, which is mostly the VA hospital, VA services, other services, and also the North Campus, which is all of the housing, enhanced use leases, including those 1,691 that are being built as part of the principal developer team. So last year, we created the community and town center plans. We updated our town center plan. There's been a lot of conversation. I encourage you to, read the Federal Register, read the comments. There have been multiple meetings. There is a Federal Veterans Community Oversight and Engagement Board chartered by Congress who provides feedback to the secretaries. So there are meetings every quarter of that. There have been conversations at various different levels. So basically, we took all of the feedback from all of these different stakeholder meetings and every survey that we could get our hands on, and we incorporated it into the community and the town center plans. So we're always looking for feedback on that as well. If you go to the WLAVC website, there is currently a survey up where you can offer more of your feedback as we wait for Master Plan 2022 to be released, and that should happen here within the next couple of months. We started construction on buildings 207, 205, and 208. We'll get into that more when we talk about the housing. There's been progress on dry utility infrastructure. So if you've been on the West Los Angeles VA North Campus on Bonsall, there's construction. You can also see building 207 as you approach the Welcome Center that's under construction. There's also been progress on the wet utility infrastructure planning. That's been a little bit of a challenge. A lot of the infrastructure on the campus is aging and requires a lot of funding to be able to upgrade it. We were granted Vhp Financing Applications. So that means that financing for the housing that will be coming online in order to be able to host the services. So VHHP provides for services and other needs for the housing. They hired the first staff member, who is me. Let me just move this out of the way. And also hired a communications contractor and development campaign advisor. Communications is especially critical, getting word out, being able to have different systems where we communicate with the public bidirectionally, and then also development. Redeveloping the campus comes at a pretty hefty price tag. So we are starting a fundraising campaign, and we'll talk more about that. So updates to the community housing. Our goal is to build a vibrant community. So the next units, building 205 and 208, 120 units, and building 207, which is 59 units, are on track for Q4 of 2022. So that's at the end of this year. One of the buildings will have a 62 and over age requirement, and the other building will not have an age requirement. So those are two different housing units that will be opening, intended for homeless veterans, their families, and their certified caregivers. Work is underway between the West Los Angeles Veterans Collective, which is the principal developer team that I just mentioned. And that revolves around lease up. So determining which tenants will go into the buildings, what the housing mix will look like, which is very important for the community, and how the community is structured, and then also getting people appropriate services depending on their level of need. So those conversations are happening with West Los Angeles Veterans Collective, the VA, Lhasa, DMH, and others. And we'll be approaching tenant selection and lease up for 205, 208, and 207 rapidly. This has never been done before on a VA campus. So, we're building a lot, we're writing a lot, we're looking at, precedent and how this should roll out. 400 of the planned 1,450 supportive housing apartments are currently funded with VASH and Section 8 housing vouchers. And so there's a listing of the buildings that applies to. And the lease was secured and work is underway on the Wadsworth Chapel. If you've ever driven by the North Campus on Wilshire, you'll see the chapel building that was built in 1887. And it is the oldest building on Wilshire, and the chapel is in severe need of repair. So there's development underway in terms of refurbishing it, looking at the planning for that, and then also the fundraising for that, because it's going to come at a pretty hefty price tag. So The site will host an innovative moral injury program through Volunteers of America. And there will also be a non-denominational space for gathering and meditation. So moving forward on all of that. I included here the draft community plan housing development phases. So you can see here in the different phases, we're in phase 0/phase 1. And you can see here modeled out where these buildings are, the total number of units. The principal developer is not the only developer on the West Los Angeles North Campus. There are also 241 homes that were developed by others, but also then must be incorporated into a master community. So in total, it's going to be about 1,691 homes for the total North Campus build. So if you think about that, it's really going to change the landscape of veteran homelessness pretty significantly, coupled with some of the changes that have been discussed and will be discussed further this afternoon with the Housing and Homelessness Working Group, with policy and things like that. I also included the development type, and I'll share this with all of you after, but you can see some of this construction is new construction, some of it's adaptive reuse. The buildings coming online will be adaptive reuse, which means that they're refurbished. I'll give you some updates on the phase 0 buildings. So all of this is included in phase 0, the principal developers phase 0. The VA has different phases, but this is how we're rolling out the development. So building 207 that I mentioned, part of phase 0, adaptive reuse, homeless veteran senior 62 plus. You can see the AMI there and the rent limits. So if you're interested in those details. Construction has started and it will be completed in fall of this year. So you can see the funding breakdown. We've got the project-based VASH vouchers from the county allocated, which is really, really good news. Looking at infrastructure, Bonsall, the utility, the trunk line with the dry utilities, the estimated total cost of that is $10 million. As I mentioned, a lot of the utilities are pretty aged, and so it requires a lot of financing. But the construction already started December 2020. Completion is targeted for Q4 of this year. Oh, I'm sorry, Q4. So it was Q4 of this year, but I think we're about 89% complete. So there's the update on that, and I'll change that. And we've gotten the scope, the costs, the schedule, the financing approved by the VA, State Historic Preservation Office, and local AHJ. So everything is moving forward with that. It's nearly complete. There's a lot of funding through the VA's capital contributions. And again, actually 98% complete, not 89. So looking at the wet utility plan, it started in 2021. It's targeted for early and mid 2022. There's a lot of work that's going on in the planning and discussion of financing for that. So there's an update there. Here's some construction progress photos for the infrastructure. You don't have to go there to see it. It's actually in the presentation here. I included a composite of the phase 1. You can see outline what buildings are included in phase 1. Start for at the end of this year. Here's some building updates for you. So these are all phase 1 buildings, and you can see them all listed out. Building 402, new construction, homeless veteran, no specific requirements for homeless veterans in terms of age or gender. And here's the construction starting this year and ending in Q4 of 2023. Building 300, which is the wellness center for the campus, North Campus. So the wellness center will also have units above it. And those are intended for homeless veterans. Again, no gender, no age requirement. So those are starting construction in Q2 of this year, will be finished by summer of next year. And we'll talk more about Building 300 and its significance in a few slides. Building 404, again, homeless veterans, starting this year, ending in 2024. And then 156 and 157 will actually start construction next year, but I included it. So it's one of the upcoming buildings that we're doing a lot of pre-development work on it. For construction, alongside the VA has to release parcels of land to the developer. And so we're in progress of getting that done, not only on this building, but then on the also the other phase 1 projects. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the community connection. So in addition to housing, there's a lot of community building that's being done and has been done as of late last year and into this year. The Veterans Collective is the nonprofit 501c3 arm of the West Los Angeles Veterans Collective, which is those 3 principal developers. So establishing a 501c3 will help with administration and community development functioning. The Veterans Collective is a member of the West LA Services Collective. So currently there is a provider services collective that functions on the West LA campus and already doing joint work with the VA and community partners in service to the community. We held our first official joint event, a Women Veterans Winter Wonderland holiday event with other community sponsors. And then also recently just sat down with the head of the community development and civic engagement and planned out an annual calendar in conjunction with them. So we know what's going to be going on the campus as we move forward. Building the structure of this community is absolutely crucial. Housing is huge. Housing is very, very important, but building the community is a supportive fabric that hopefully will keep people housed, will help them know where to look for resources, will empower them, will provide resources for them in terms of moving forward in their lives, building career opportunities, enterprise opportunities, and things like that. So past systems, the veterans and the community that we serve are the heart of what we do, and we want to know what veterans need. There's a lot of conversation, like I said, about what will go into the community, specifically with the town center and the different components that are included in that. So this is an ongoing conversation. It allows for bi-directional communication, and it's really important to us and to me personally to get the community right. Looking more into the community, the town center. So the town center concept that has been proposed to the VA and as part of Master Plan 2022 that's currently up for consideration by the Secretary includes over 90,000 square feet of non-residential commercial space. And there's a network of outdoor spaces as well. So there are veteran serving amenities, there's recreation, there's art spaces, vocational training in terms of jobs, office space for veterans to conduct business, socialization opportunities. And that includes a town green, a mobility hub for transportation, because as we know, transportation is pretty crucial for the community to be able to access resources and carry on with lives. So we will also have a Main Street planned. And if you're interested in any of that, head over to WLAVC.org and check out the town center plan. Building 300, as I mentioned, is a wellness center, which is part of the town center. So co-locating these services was fairly important because some veterans really have a need to access those services directly. Other veterans prefer to be further out within the community. There are housing units that do not involve these different amenities or have them rolled into them directly. So really what we're trying to do is build a community that is suitable for what veterans actually want, where they live, and what they need. So there's an element of choice there. There's an element of empowerment. Building 13 would be the town hall. So that building will be the main administrative building of the Veterans Collective and the North Campus. A lot of programming going on out of there. It's also a shared meeting space. There will be a kitchen. There will be opportunities for different programming. So there will be community-wide programming there in conjunction with community partners like LAVC and those of you who are part of it. Very, very exciting. So before the Wellness Center and Town Hall open, you may have noticed there's a little bit of a gap there between when the first housing opens and when the Town Hall and Building 300, the Wellness Center open. It's really important to provide supportive services in that gap. So arranging for supportive services is an active partnership, and also US Vets is the primary campus service provider and has existing services in the region as well. So basically what we're doing is examining how to provide services before the building is physically built, because it is possible to do that. So working with other partners, backbone coordination through the Veterans Collective, and also the VA sections. There's a lot of services through VA already on the campus. So the creation of the slate of wellness services and the confirmation of partners is underway. I've gone through each of the buildings 313, the schematics, plotted out what services are projected to go in there, and contacted some of the service providers. So not only will there be community services within the buildings co-located with US Vet services and VA services, hopefully. We'll see if co-location for the VA is something that we can achieve. But there will be other community providers coming onto the campus and doing things like classes and other initiatives. So it's pretty exciting. It's pretty wide-ranging. And it's my belief, and it's the collective's belief, that services must be provided across the spectrum of community need. So that's for higher need veterans on the campus in terms of mental health and programming that's relevant to them, but it's also for veterans who might want to go to college, or children living on the campus, family members living on the campus who might want to engage with the educational system, get a job, anyone who wants employment. So just really planning for the full breadth and depth of services that our community deserves. Let's talk a little bit about the healthy community. So the housing unit wellness services. As I mentioned before, each housing unit that opens will have veteran-centered services that will be provided by housing wellness staff. So that's case management, including HUD-VASH. If you have a HUD-VASH voucher, there's a requirement for HUD-VASH case management. So there'll be that type of case management. There will be additional supportive case management provided by US Vets. And we will also have a veteran services coordinator assigned to each building, veteran peers, and we'll also leverage existing staff and programs through US Vets. So this is really the plan for each individual building. Looking at the veteran and community inclusion aspect of things, it's really important as this system is built out, as the housing is built out, to look at feedback. So design a feedback loop and look at how the system is designed so it works together. People often fall into the cracks at the program implementation. You can build the structure all day long, you can build laws all day long, but implementation is where the magic really happens in terms of making sure that the system works properly. So it's important to measure success across the different dimensions of what we're doing at West LA, and that includes housing success. So not only building the housing, but looking at the core values, looking at the property management and safety standards across the different property management companies in each of these different buildings for each of the units. Looking at the housing mix. So what is the requirement for those veterans who may be severely and persistently mentally ill, higher level of care needs, looking at individuals who might be higher functioning or have different requirements. Really important to get that housing mix correct and get it distributed. Community success. So looking at the breadth and depth of opportunities, supportive fabric, and the integration of residents and visitors. So how is this community gelling? What are the structures that we have in place to make it work and to make it tangible? This project, through the principal developer team, will last 99 years. So it has to be built correctly. And again, our community deserves that. And then services success. What are the best practices? What's the evidence base? Is it strengths-based, solutions-focused? Trauma and developmentally informed care, as I mentioned, across that spectrum is very, very important. And then elements of safety, trustworthiness, choice, collaboration, and empowerment. Sorry about that. There's a lot of challenges, constraints, and needs, and we'll be brutally honest about all of these as we move forward. There's funding limitations, the amounts of funds that are available, the timing. You have different funding for the housing construction, so things like bonds, the project-based vouchers. And then on top of all of that, you have a private philanthropy need. So currently that's estimated at $138 million. And we'll be launching a wider community development fundraising campaign. Please know that this is not a solicitation to any veteran part of LAVC. Just really important to talk about where the money is going to come from, because this redevelopment is going to cost a lot of money. Again, the infrastructure, aging, a lot of things that need to be figured out. A lot of the West Los Angeles VA campus was powered by steam, so that had to be changed. And then legislative needs, so appropriations for extraordinary capital needs. Do we need legislative changes to some of the requirements on campus? And items like that are up for discussion. Legislative update, there's been a lot of state advocacy, federal, local. You can see those all listed out here. The different areas that we're concentrating on in order to get this North Campus redevelopment completed. So next steps in the year ahead, pre-development and diligence activities, that speaks to housing development, construction activities. As you saw, there are several housing units that are going under construction. A lot of infrastructure work still being done. The dry utilities, again, 98% complete, but carried over into this year. Wet utilities, that planning is continuing. Transportation is something that we're looking at. The backbone organization, community development, and services structuring. So the 501c3 paperwork has been filed with the IRS. So hopefully I'll have an update with you in a couple of months about that. The advocacy and fundraising efforts are ongoing. So advocacy at every turn. Fundraising, we are developing the campaign, the fundraising campaign. So there's different areas within that campaign that we'll be seeking funding support for, and building that campaign has taken quite a bit of time. Building tenant selection and ramp up, and the building openings. So in addition to building the procedures, the structures around the housing, and that includes community rules, that includes, again, the property management, the safety procedures, areas of responsibility, who's doing what's the VA responsible for, what are the property management teams are responsible for. There's building tenant selection. So speaking again to that housing mix, the importance of getting that right, and a ramp up. So how do we get veterans then into the completed housing? And that's going to require, again, a partnered process with VA, Lhasa, and others. And then we have the building openings. So this is what the next steps in the year ahead look like. Thanks, everyone. I know we're about 5 minutes out from the rest of the working groups. You can see their website, and also please join us on social media. We have our social media up now, in addition to a newsletter that will be coming online. So please sign up for that as well. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for having me give this update, and we'll see when Master Plan 22 comes out about coming back for another update.
Great. Thank you so much, Tess, for taking that time. Before we close out, I did want to invite Krishna Flores to just give us an update on what she wrote in the chat. It's very important for all of us on this call to be aware of.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Amy, for the opportunity to share that as of last year, and the Vet Center Expansion Act was signed, and this year it rolled out. And what it does is it expands readjustment counseling services that the VA offers to veterans. It now includes National Guard members and reserve troops who did not deploy to combat areas, but instead participated in drug interdiction or fighting national disasters or emergency. What does that mean? Prior to this expansion, you had to either be exposed to combat, be in an area of hostility, or experience military sexual trauma to access our readjustment counseling services at no cost to the veteran, because these are benefits that they have earned. But with this expansion, you no longer need that combat exposure or that ribbon deployment to a combat zone to access our services as a National Guard member or reserve troop. And also, this also includes the Coast Guard. So I just wanted to share that information with everyone. And if this is new information and you would like to talk more about it, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm at the AV Vet Center. And if you want to find the nearest vet center to you to refer a National Guard member or reservist, go to va.gov, find a location, type in the zip code, and then it has a scroll down to pick facility, select vet center, and it will give you the nearest vet center to the zip code that you provided. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you so much for that, Krishna. And with that, it concludes our time for our main meeting. Again, we're gonna go ahead and break. The same link, so you're not gonna be going anywhere if you are choosing to stay for the breakout rooms. They're already open and available. You can just scroll to the bottom of your screen. You should see the breakout rooms and assign yourself to the working group that you wish to participate in. If you need any help with that, I'll be available to put you in a group if you have some technological challenges with that. So again, take a break, another refill, another bathroom break, and then we will see you in